Hey guys, welcome back to STVCastle Chess, episode number 11. Um, Coming back to you with another chess game that I played recently, which in this case was a couple days ago. And I want to show you guys another example of how to exactly break down an opponent's pawn structure. I had shown this in previous episodes, especially a couple episodes ago, when you see your opponent's pawn structure break down. You see that when that happens, you have to take advantage of that. And here in this game that I'm about to show you, that's going to ring true again. Now, in this game, featured here is the Sicilian defense. And once again, I'm playing as black here, Orange Fox 7, that's my username. Yes, I'm playing as the Black Army here. I'm playing the Sicilian defense, one of the modern variations. And my opponent, the username is V1000 Poet Super. And I think this was a highly contested game. I think this was very competitive, very much back and forth. But as you will see here, just one simple move that was made by my opponent that early on he overlooked, not knowing, of course, that it was going to come into play much later on. So, so yeah, it was one of those games where it's just really one of those games was really a back and forth. So let's just get right to it. Um, Starting with e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d3, e5. And of course, the first move that I made, c5, that is, of course, the Sicilian defense, the beginning of that. So we have this pawn structure here of my own over here connecting these pawns. So far, so good on both sides. Bishop e2, bishop g4. Now, this is the move that I want to highlight here right away. h3. That's what my opponent did on move number 5, and I think this is the move that ultimately cost him the game. Even though at the time he did not know this, because we were just like early on, we were playing this, and I've seen this move played against me many times where my opponent would bring out this h pawn or the other side a pawn just to attack my bishop. And normally, when that happens, I either, of course, capture the knight or bring my bishop back. Now, here, guys, I want to highlight this because you're going to see later on in this game why this was not such a good move. Now, there's nothing wrong in and of itself to bring out your H pawn to attack your opponent's bishop. There's nothing wrong with that in and of itself. But if you don't monitor the status of this pawn, if you don't monitor these pawns altogether, especially if you're going to castle um, at a later time, this pawn structure as it is, you have this pawn, and then this pawn sticking out here on H. When you have that, you're going to run into problems if you don't monitor it. So I just want to keep that as the focus here. But anyway, h3, bishop h5. I take my bishop back. Then he castles, like I just said. When you castle, you got to be careful because your opponent can exploit these three pawns being a little bit disjointed here. Knight f6. I play next. He brings his knight back. Knight h2. Bishop g6. Bishop g4. I get my bishop out, bishop e7, I'm ready to castle myself. Bishop e2, knight c6, c3, a6, knight g4. Now he's trying to plan some sort of attack here with his knight, bishop, queen. I've seen this so many times where my opponent would connect the queen and the bishop together just so they can have some sort of diagonal attack. b5. I do this a lot where I bring out my pawns on the wing here. That's common for me to play. So he goes ahead and captures my knight. Knight takes knight f6 check. I take back with the bishop. Bishop takes f6. Now bishop h5. Again, he has that connected with the queen and the bishop. I get my queen out, queen c7. Bishop takes bishop g6. H pawn takes bishop g6. This is another key move to highlight here, guys. I believe it's recommended. It's not set in stone kind of a rule here, but I do recommend it that when you have something like this, when you have to exchange bishops or knights like this, you always clear space for the rook, especially when you're on the very edge here of the board, such as the H file, because I want to highlight this real fast. By taking with the H pawn, I open up my rook. I free up my rook to exploit this, which was just done by the H pawn here. Again, knight d2, I queenside castle. Now, I would have kingside castle had my opponent not done what he did by capturing the bishop. But um, knowing that I have a free file here with the rook, I have to go the other way now. So queenside castle, a4, move up my pawn, b4, knight c4, a5, queen to g4 check. Now he's trying to get something going along this diagonal here, which I could see. So I just simply move my king out of the way, king b8. Now bishop g5, he's trying to attack the other bishop. Now, knowing I have free space with my rook, and knowing that my opponent is trying to get something going along this side of the board, I have to do something about that. I can't just let my opponent keep attacking this side of the board. So bring my rook up, rook h5, bishop takes bishop f6, pawn takes bishop, g takes f6. So the pawn structure is still there for me, even though I have doubled up pawns. And like I said previously at another episode, it's not always a bad thing to have doubled up pawns, as long as you can plan accordingly that revolves around these doubled up pawns. G takes f6. So the queen goes back, tries to attack this pawn. Queen to f3. I simply defend the pawn with my queen, queen e7. Knight to e3, excuse me. Knight to e3. Queen to e6. Now I moved that up because I knew that my opponent was trying to acquire this space, these spaces right here. Because had I not done that, he would have gone here at least, try to attack the queen, try with another attack on the pawn. I would have had to move my queen up, and then it would be a disaster. So that's why I did what I did here. Queen e6. And like so, he goes to knight d5. That was his plan. That was his thought process. So I go ahead and move my pawn up, not wasting any more time. f5, c4, knight d4. I might as well attack the queen. And that's on purpose because the queen is clearly guarding this pawn, this h3 pawn right here. And what better way to get rid of a defender of this pawn than to kick the queen out of the way? Queen d1, f4. Now, this is why I titled this applying pressure with rooks, because I know my rook is right here. And when you get your pawn going like this, when you have it connected with the knight, with the L shape, this is what happens. And and you're taking down this pawn structure here that's disjointed. Watch. F4, rook c1. That move does not do anything. F3. I go ahead with my plan. Just going ahead with my plan here, F3. Here we go. We're attacking this pawn structure. It's weak, simply because of what happened on move number 5. F3. He can't move up here. He can't ignore this pawn, because if he does that, then guess what? He already lost this H pawn. So what's the alternative? Which is what he does. G pawn takes on F3. So knowing that, I've already won it. I've already won this battle here with the pawn structure. And there's no point in me taking back with the knight. That's not at all my plan here. My plan is to take out this guy, the H pawn. This is why I say applying pressure with rooks. When you have rooks that are free to roam like this on a file, good things can happen. When you get your rooks activated, when you get your rooks going like this, that pawn has nowhere to go. He's done, as far as I'm concerned. Rook d to h8. That's what I played just now. F4, he's trying to do something to block, but it's too little too late. Queen takes pawn on h3, and you guys can tell what's happening here. F3, too little too late. Queen h2, check, mate. Yep, Queen h2, checkmate. That's it. That is the final move of the game. 29 moves it just took this game. Like I said, V1000 Poet Super. For the early parts of the game, it was definitely back and forth. It definitely felt like a highly contested game early on. But once I was able to address that weakened H pawn, it was all downhill there for my opponent. And that's really really the main point of this game that I want to highlight to you guys, is that when you have a weakened pawn structure, when you have an H or an A pawn sticking out like that, and you decide to castle along that side, whether king side or queen side, you have got to monitor that. That's going to be a point, that's going to be a tip that I'm going to share with you guys right now. If you castle behind a pawn wall that's weakened like that, that's disjointed, that has an H or an A pawn already moved, you got to monitor that, because if you don't, you're going to lose that game quickly. That's basically what I have to say about that. As you saw here in my game against V1000 Poet Super, that's exactly what happened. So this is a simple game, highly contested in the beginning, but it unraveled towards the end. Uh, and like I said, the rooks, when they're activated, when they have a free file like this to go through, good things can happen. And there's nothing that a single pawn can do, especially with what you saw late in this game. So anyway, that was it. That was a quick and simple game to analyze here, to evaluate. I hope you guys like this game. There's going to be more games coming here. STVCastle Chess is going to continue. This was episode 11. There's going to be more episodes to come. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, especially with that opening picture, the opening graphic that I made for you guys. Part of it was like a picture of a chess club event that I recently attended, like last month in April. Just officially started going there. Um, that's called the Chillicothe Chess Club, because I do my business in the Chillicothe, Ohio area, and I had just recently heard about that. So let me know what you guys think about that picture. That's probably going to be the opening graphic for STVCastle Chess going forward. So let me know what you guys think about that. And let me know what you guys think about this game that I presented to you. If you like this content, please share it with your friends, share it with those that are enthusiastic about the game of chess like I am. This is Stephen Vitt, coming back to you guys once again with chess related content, and I hope to see you guys on the chessboard soon. Take care.